let's make a platter for lunch and let's talk about money, because something very interesting has come across my feed today. Wait, let me think about the platter first before I talk about the money. This is my little platter. They're my little platters I'm selling on my website. It says Saturday Platter Day, #no cooking, because, you know, we don't cook on a Saturday night. And I just love it. I had a most beautiful platter yesterday. So let's get started. We'll start with the cucumber, not the cheese for We'll start with the cucumber. And then I'll talk to you about something. So here's the thing that I find very interesting about being an influencer and also being a lawyer. So as a lawyer, I'm aware that if you engaged a barrister, which we do usually for specialist advocacy, so if we're going to a trial or there's a hearing of some sort, then normally we'd get a barrister for that. The solicitor does all the paperwork and all the prep, and the barrister does the arguing in court. Some solicitors do both, so I would occasionally do the arguing myself as well. But not always, depending, right? On a final hearing, I'd usually get a barrister. Interim hearing, I'd usually do it myself, but it does depend on the client and availability. Sometimes the court gives you a court date and I can't do the court date, so I'd get a barrister and put a solicitor for that specific job. Now, your barristers in Sydney would charge between around $5,000 a day plus GST to, say, if you've got a senior counsel like a Silk, who are very experienced, they might charge something like $8,000 or $10,000 a day plus GST. They will also charge, this is a plum, preparation time on top of that. So that's, let's say the barrister makes, I don't know, $5,000 a day, and the lawyer just charges their hourly rate. My hourly rate is $715 an hour. So we have that sort of money, which is the charge out fee, right? That's what I'm charging for my work, because lawyers charge in accordance with time. Now, an influencer can charge extraordinary rates. And I didn't know this. Like, for a long time, I've been on TikTok for about 3 years. I didn't do paid sponsorships or paid partnerships for probably the first, maybe first 2 years. I just didn't do it, right? And I figured I'm a lawyer, I'm not going to do that. But then after a while, when my following grew, and I kept getting all these offers, and then I realised that it wasn't a couple of $100s that could be made. It was serious money. And all this time I'm putting into TikTok that I don't get paid for, of course, because we have no creator fund in Australia, and the only way to make money is from brand deals. So what's interesting is the sort of money that these influencers are making. And I always thought, I've got my full-time job, of course, which I love and I'm good at, and I've been a lawyer for 22 years. So I wouldn't give up being a lawyer to be a full-time influencer, because you wouldn't have the control over your own account. Like, TikTok controls the account, and from time to time, I saw that guy, is it News Daddy, is that his name? I think his name's Dylan. Anyway, I saw on the weekend that he was banned from TikTok, and he had like 14.8 million followers, right? Permanently banned. And he's like, does anybody have an email for TikTok so I can communicate with them? Yeah, so with a click of a button, with a stroke of a pen, your account and your whole influencer identity could be taken away from you. And I've seen people before that said, banned at 400K or banned at 800K. So in their profile, when they once had an account and had to start all over again. So if that happened to me, which it could, and that was my only source of income, then wouldn't that have been a mistake? Imagine giving up my legal career to say, I'll be an influencer now, and then something was to happen. I'm going to save this bit of cheese for tomorrow. So that's why I'd never be a full-time influencer, right? I'll keep my legal job, and I happen to be good at it. And of course, I'm an owner of my law firm, so it's not that easy. It's not like I just resign. So the money that influencers are making, and I don't know if this is this like a secret? Should I not be talking about it? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about it. But it's serious money, right? Serious money. The thousands of dollars. Like, it's an influencer can charge, well, I don't know, they can basically set their rates. But what I'm talking about is for like a 1 minute or 2 minute videos, they could get paid something like $10,000 or more for like a 2 minute video. 2 minutes, $10,000. Now, it depends on how many followers you have. Micro influencers might make $3,000, $5,000, whatever, for 1 2 minute video or 1 1 minute video, right? As I said, barristers for the whole day are making like $10,000 for the day. And that's, you know, serious stuff. We're arguing about people's lives, their children, their property, serious stuff. The influencer can make, like, it's just extraordinary. And I get that it's the industry, right? I understand the power of marketing and influencing. And of course, you know, it's always been disproportionate to me that actors can make millions of dollars when they're not saving lives, they're not curing cancer. But I get it. If the executives and the producers are making all the money for the people that make the movies, then why shouldn't the stars get a cut? Makes perfect sense. So I guess it's the same thing. If an influencer has the influence over their audience to buy certain products, then why shouldn't they get some compensation for that? Why should the money just go to the companies? Makes sense. Anyway, I just thought that was fascinating. I've got this little trail mix. I'm going to put that over here. Oh, it's got almond. I'm not a big fan of the almond. Much prefer the cashew. So, yes, there's that, which is... Oh, the dip. I'll put the dip in there. Got a little bit of cheese in there. Yeah, so I just thought that was interesting because I don't yet have formal management. And one of the reasons I thought I should get management is I never really know how much to charge, right? When I'm getting approached by brands, never really knew what the going rate is because it's kind of a topic that you don't talk about with people. However, a very kind Australian influencer has reached out to me to say, Fadan, FYI, in case you didn't know, this is what I'm charging and I have less followers than you. So if you're not already charging this sort of rate, you might want to crank it. And I tell you what, I appreciate the advice. I appreciate it. Because no, I didn't know that I should be charging way more than I am. Perhaps. I won't say that I'm cheap, but perhaps I'm cheap. Don't worry about it. We're going to get on that. Okay. And if you're like, well, why don't you get formal management? I am. It's one of those things where, because I'm a lawyer, I'm negotiating the contract. Yeah. So that's taking a little bit of time. Don't worry about it. All right. Platter is done, bitches. Look at this little platter. So cute. And of course, we have my Coke. Mmm. My little Ritz are so cute. Such a cute little lunch. I've got some drafting to do this afternoon. An affidavit. It's good to have a little snack plate. So I'm going to get on that and enjoy my lunch. I'll see you guys tonight. I don't think anything's happening. Is anything happening exciting to tell you? Not really. I've watched 1923, the penultimate episode. My God, no spoilers. But I tell you what, Taylor Sheridan, kind of annoying me at the moment. Yeah, we've got one episode and he's got a lot to wrap up. Like, is he going to make it? Is he going to be able to wrap it up in the finale? I think there's a 2-hour finale coming. Anyway, I'm a little nervous. I won't go into it because I don't want to give any spoilers. All right, I'm going to get into this. I'll see you later. Here's a close look at the platter.